to everyone, because, as the Dalai Lama said, at one point in the millennium, we've all been someone's mother, and we've all been someone's child. So Mother's Day is an event for all of us. I'm Mary Mcdonnell, as you know, and this is my beautiful daughter, Olivia Mel.
So my name is Olivia Mel, but I actually perform under the name Olivia Jane, which I wanted to mention that because Jane is my given middle name, and it is the name, it's a family name, and it is the name of my mom's beloved sister, Jane, who passed away a number of years ago. She told the story about going to the funeral yesterday, and also her great aunt Jane, your Aunt Jane, my great Aunt Jane, and both of whom were extraordinary mothers. Oh yes, and my paternal grandmother's middle name was Jane. That's cool, yeah. So it's a family name, so it felt fitting and for today to mention that. And I'm gonna sing a little song for you guys that I wrote. It's called Wait For Me in the Morning, and I'm so grateful that you're all here to hear it, because I have to warn you ahead of time. I don't play the piano. I really don't. I mean, I taught myself how to play this song so that I could sing it for you today. It's a blues tune, and it's off my record, which is all original songs, is coming out in mid-July. Some of you know that. Some of you whom I met yesterday who are signed up for my email list. At this point, it's self-titled. It may have a different title in a couple of weeks, but as of now, it's self-titled Olivia Jane. Comes out July 14th, and I have a couple singles coming out before that. And if you visit us later, I'll have more information for you. But for now, I'm just gonna sing you a little tune. So bear with my piano playing.
Yeah, she is in the way. Yeah. Sorry. Can you see? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see.
Wait for me in the morning when the moon is going down. Wait for me in the morning till you see me come around. Park the car low down by the meadow. Gotta leave this city now. Oh, won't you help me out? Oh, won't you help me out? I took a man's life for something that he never should have done. Whoa, I took a man's life for gunning my baby to the ground. And getting clearer in every mirror is a shadow of what I've done. gotta leave this city now. Oh, won't you help me out? Oh, won't you help me out? Gotta leave this city now. Oh, won't you help me out? Won't you, won't you, won't you? Oh, won't you, won't you, won't you? I'm running into the dawn. Take my hand and we'll be gone.
That was great, Liv. Oh my God, right?
One of my mother's tickets.
You know, it's so funny. Like, I was sitting there watching her play, and I'm going, okay, so this is the first time she's ever played by herself with her, accompanied herself. And I thought, who needs a band? I mean, not to put the band up, but it's really an interesting way for you to go, just as a performer, right? How did it feel?
Honestly, I studied piano as a kid, and I hated it so much, and I hated that my parents made me do it. I begged them to let me quit for so long, but I think that what I had to do was like come to wanting it myself. If you're musicians or artists, you know what that feels like, and your parents put you through stuff that is really good for you. And like I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not had the foundation in piano that I had as a child. But when I started to sing and write my own music, I was just so frustrated that I thought that I couldn't write my own music. I'm a lyricist, but I didn't think that I would be able to write melodies or practice my songs at my own pace. And so the great desire to be able to accompany myself is what brought me back to it, and I'm so glad that I did. And it's of course a work in progress. Like I still don't consider myself a piano player, but it feels really, really good to accompany myself.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So thank you for being
Thank
my
you.
guinea pigs.
Yeah, you guys, first of all, what a wonderful group of people to do this in front of, because I know a lot of you really well at this point in my career, and you are a generous, smart, kind group of people, and you're out there in the world, and you get what the culture is doing and needing and saying, and you promote arts. I mean, that's what you do all the time. You promote storytelling by showing up at these things and being so devoted and everything. So, to me, to my mind, if you like, this would be a place. These kind of things would be a place to develop your sound, because you'll get the feedback. Believe me. Right. Mother's Day. This was the way this happened was I said I was going to come to this con, and I didn't know it was Mother's Day. It was, a while back, I wasn't thinking. And then Olivia, who just moved from New York to LA, I said, I'm going to Houston in a couple weekends. And she said, Mom, that's Mother's Day. I said, ooh. And we hadn't been together on Mother's Day forever. She was in New York, I was in LA. So she said, well, I'm coming to Houston. And I said, great. And then we thought, ooh, let's try this. Oh, let's bring candy bars. Let's promote your album. Did anybody eat one of those candy bars? Oh my God. No, it's okay. You can raise your hand. I did too. You're really good, aren't they?
I have to admit, I stole one for the plane ride home.
She designed the flavor. What's in it?
It's milk chocolate with caramel filling, and there's also cinnamon toast crunch, blueberries, and white chocolate chips. Because I'm 5.
Well, also, it really does say something about my mothering. I'm not sure it's good. Cinnamon toast crunch. It's not like I made homemade granola. Do you know what I mean? Part of what we wanted to do today is acknowledge all of you. The mothers, the daughters, the sons, the fathers, because parenting and taking care of parents, it's all mothering at the core. It's all extending yourselves to nurture and look out for the best interests of the people you love. So it just feels like a really important day for everyone. And I know that yesterday, is that wonderful woman I met yesterday with Galactica that took care of Richard Hatch? Is she here? Did she come here? Oh, there she is. Hi, Mama. I just wanted to acknowledge you. Richard Hatch, who we all know, our beloved Richard. Tell me your name again. I know your name. Mina, of course, Mina and Mina. Mina was a caretaker for Richard Hatch during the last period of his life, and she experienced his passing and the beauty of that. And so I just wanted her to stand up so we could give her a bit of an applause because you're welcome. Because when you hear a story like that and you realize that somebody you know was mothered correctly during their passing, and that makes sense to me about Richard because he had such good karma. He was such a good soul, so I'm not surprised he ended up with someone so loving as you, Mina. Thank you. You know, I'll talk about being a mother for a bit, and then we're going to open it up to you because I do think you'll have some things to say. When I was watching Olivia play, I can see parts of Olivia that I've known about since before she was born, and I can see things in her that I've never seen and heard. And I think that one of the pleasures of mothering is the mystery of watching your children unfold and watching the independence of their spirits and their minds and their hearts when they begin to show you that they're not you, which is the hardest thing to learn. Because we know who we are, so if we can make them us, then they'll be safe. I mean, it's all stupid what we do, you know? Well, I don't know, do any of you do that as mothers? Like, kind of think that if you can predict how they'll feel and what they'll do, then they'll be okay. And then, in fact, that's completely wrong. So, I've made a few mistakes, I think it's fair to say.
Also have I.
Oh, no. No. Oh, I have to tell you a quick story about Olivia and I'm shouting into this, I don't know why. Olivia and I did, as many of you know, the Cherry Orchard in Philadelphia a few years ago, the Chekhov play, the Cherry Orchard, we played mother and daughter. And the funny part about this was, I thought, well, we had never really worked together. And I thought, well, it's gonna be tough because there'll be certain things I may want to tell her, like give her tips. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. And I tried, I think, a few days into rehearsal to tell her something I thought might be a good idea. And she was like, so my giving her notes was out of bounds, but she gave me a ton of notes. And the thing is, they were really good. So I thought I did a good job. So, go ahead.
Well, just about that, I have to say that it's a real gift for me as not only an artist, but I think it would be a gift for anyone who admires their mother so much as I do, to be able to work with them on a peer level. And still, don't get me wrong, I may not have taken your notes, but I learned from you every day of my life. And every day through that rehearsal process, and every day on stage with you for 8 shows a week. And I feel so blessed to have been a colleague of yours. And we were able to, it's so cool because we didn't know how it was going to turn out. We thought, oh, we're going to be at each other's throats, like this is not going to work. But we actually miraculously were able to sort of separate our working day, our day at work together, which it was kind of cool because we got to play mother and daughter, so a lot of that came naturally. And our real hard work on the play was when we were in scenes with other people. But we could, I mean, am I wrong? No.
No, absolutely right.
So, but then at the end of the day, you know, we could meet up for dinner or like, you know, a glass of wine or something. And just, we never sort of, we actually kind of got along better at work than we did.
Yeah.
Not that we get along bad, no, we don't.
Well,
But it was an interesting thing to
tell
see.
the truth. I mean, here's another thing she told me. This was before I've taken Olivia on tons of sets when she was younger, and she's traveled all over with me and everything. It's like, oh my God, it's going to be so much fun. And I was seeing us in our pajamas running around. She goes, I'm not staying in the same place as you. And I was like, oh yeah, right. Who would want to stay with their mother? So truth be told, I went back to my room every night, you know, turned on CNN or MSNBC and, you know, whatever, and she was partying with the cast. So we got along quite well.
No, and it was, I mean, my whole point of this, you know, I digress, but I'm so grateful to have gotten to work with you and to be your daughter before 9 a.m. and after 6 p.m. and to be your daughter and your colleague between 9 and 6.
Thank you.
And on stage. And to have the support of, like, some of you went to see the Cherry Orchard. That's amazing.
That was impressive. In the snow from all over
Yeah,
the world
that's
to Philadelphia. I mean, come on.
It means the world to us, so thank you. And thank you, Mom, because you taught me something every day. It's true.
I would like you guys to say a few things too. I want to get a discussion going, if we can, a little bit about how you feel about Mother's Day, or if anybody wants to say something about their mother, whether or not she's here or she's gone. I miss my mother every day, and she's been gone since 1991. So I just thought, does anybody want to step up to the mic? Yes, please do.
Well, I lost my mother when I was, I guess, 14. She's still alive, but yeah, she is bipolar and self-medicating. So for 14 to 17, when my parents had divorced, she kind of went off, and then I moved in with my dad, so I didn't see her since I was 17. And this will be the first Mother's Day we're actually going to see each other again.
Congratulations.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
So we're, not today, but on Wednesday we're actually going to a 3-day rock concert together.
Wow. Can we come? Where are you going?
It's in Columbus, Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it's kind of the first time, it's no contact for over a decade. And then she kind of came out of the woodwork, and it was weird because the first time she tried, no way was I going to talk to her. It was hard. And then I finally kind of exploded. You know, you get that point where you're like, okay, this is my mother, I can tell her anything. And so it was weird because when I was little, she was my best friend. Only child, just was always with her, took me to work with her, that kind of thing, and then she was gone. And so I had to process it like that. Because I didn't know if I'd ever see her again.
Right.
So then now it's kind of weird because it's almost like she came back from the dead kind of moment.
Yeah.
It's like a soap opera for a while. So it's to hear mother-daughter that actually like still had the kind of conflicts, but they're still together. It's kind of nice. So thank you.
Thank you, honey. And you know what I'd say to you? I wish you the very best of luck. And one of the things that I have learned, and I said a little bit about it before, and I'm sure you've been forced to learn that, but to remind yourself is that your mother's a person and you're a person. That's all we are. And whatever you two can find together now is gold.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best.
Thank you. She's like, let's go see Metallica.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a wild mother. That's awesome. How fun.
I just wanted to tell you that I think it's very brave of you, and I commend your courage, because that's a big deal after such a long time. So thank you for sharing.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, I want to talk about my mother. She's 90 years old, living in France. She's a breast cancer survivor. And she fought, she was 10 years old, 15 years old, I think, in the Second World War with my grandmother. And they were under Nazi occupation. I'm going to tell you this story because I think it's amazing, because we lived in a house of powerful women. There were no men in our house because they were either gone to the Second World War and had been killed or whichever happened. I mean, my poor dad was alone in there in the middle of all these women.
Can you speak a little
Yes,
louder, Christine?
I'm sorry.
Just
That's
push
fine.
the mic down a little.
There you
There
go.
you go.
There we go.
Okay, and so my grandmother and my mother were in that house in France, and they were under Nazi occupation. And the German soldiers came over and they were requesting all of the houses to put their officers. And my family is originated from Alsace, which speaks German. And so my grandmother did a very Laura Roslin stand, and they knocked at the door and they said, we are taking your house and we are putting our officers, just now get out. And she looked at him and she said, no, you're not. And he said, why not? Well, both of my daughters have the measles, and you are not taking my house, and that's just that. And you're not coming, we're not taking it. So the German SS officer said, okay, I'm not taking your house. So that was my grandmother and my mother.
That's
and
fabulous.
yeah. And so now, we're just passing along. I have two daughters, as you know.
Yeah.
One of them is 23 years old in medical school. The other one is 19 and at home right now, and they're doing well, and they come from a long generations of powerful women. Yeah.
That's a
Just
great
wanted to
story.
share that.
So the moral of that story is when in doubt, cry measles. I mean,
Yes.
honestly, what a smart thing, because nobody wants to get the measles back then.
And she spoke German, and
Yeah.
she should have seen my grandmother. She said,
Yeah, that's
no,
great.
you're not.
That is
You're not.
awesome.
Stand your ground.
Thank you for that, Christine.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I just wanted to talk about, I was adopted when I was 4.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't have a close relationship with my biological mother until I was 16 when my adopted mother passed away unexpectedly. So Mother's Day is important to me because to me I don't have one mother, I have 2.
Yeah,
So I just wanted to say that.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I think it's really important to acknowledge not just our mothers, but the mother figures in our lives. stepmothers, but the women in our lives that nurture us and the men in our lives that teach us and guide us. I have a lot of mother figures in my life, and I think it's very, very important. It's a really good point, Renee, that we need to honor all of those women who have made us who we are in whatever way. It could have been like one very important day of your life, but I think that's very important to acknowledge, so thank you.
Hi. I'm Andy, and Mother's Day has been really hard for me the last few years. My mom is still alive and great, but my husband and I have been dealing with infertility issues. PCOS really sucks. And we lost my dad about a year and a half ago, and after 5 failed cycles of IVF, I had suddenly gotten pregnant on my own. And that was getting me and my mom through losing my dad, because he knew I was pregnant when he died. And then last year in March, we get to my 24-week appointment, and she didn't have a heartbeat anymore. So it's really hard kind of seeing my friends with their kids happy.
Yeah. We can feel the pain that you experience around this, and I have a lot of compassion for it, because there are so many people out there who actually feel tremendous pain on Mother's Day because of either having lost a mother, or of having had a troubled relationship, or not being able to become a mother. There's a longing for that creates a sadness. But I want to say to you that I support you trying to dig deeper and find out everything in you that is a mother already, and the friends that you probably mother, and the way you nurture. Because the truth is, we're not all going to be mothers in this particular lifetime. But the ability to exercise the human's impulse to mother is everywhere. And you're obviously a tremendously deep-feeling woman. And that in itself is to be treasured. And mother yourself. So I wish you the very best, and I hope that, I bet this will transform for you. I really do. Thank you for sharing this.
Thank you for
I
sharing.
help with my friends' kids a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. And I'm sure you're their favorite. Yeah, I know, I can tell. That's awesome, honey. Good luck to you.
Hello. Like Renee, I was adopted as well, and I think...
Can you speak louder?
Yeah, sorry. So I said, like Renee, I was adopted as well. Growing up, I never had my biological mom to even know what I looked like. I didn't look like any of my family members. So I met her at 22 and kind of filled that void. Unfortunately, that relationship didn't work out. But now I get to be a stepmom technically in October when I get married. And last year was the first day she gave me a Mother's Day card.
Oh my God, congratulations!
So that was really great. But Mira, I just wanted to thank you for being such a great role model to women, because when she's old enough, I'm going to show her Battlestar.
That's great, thank you.
I'm trying to turn her into a little mini nerd, so I just wanted to say thank you and kind of share my story as well.
Thank you so much, honey. Okay, we have time for one more question, please.
I'm Robin. This is my daughter, Phoenix. If there's one more, I'll let her talk.
These are your children,
This is my daughter, yes.
and is that your husband?
No.
Oh, you don't know who he is. Hi.
Sorry. My son, Xander, is at a different thing because he's 13.
Okay.
He looked, but he could barely walk, but he could say Battlestar Laka Laka.
Oh, Battlestar Laka Laka.
While it was still airing.
Oh my God, that's going to be what I say from now on. I play the president of Battlestar Laka Laka.
Yeah. He couldn't walk, but he
That's
could say that when it was
adorable.
still airing on television.
Oh, I love
Battlestar
that.
Laka Laka on? Yes, it's tonight, baby.
Can we watch Laka Laka?
Yeah, but this is Phoenix, my daughter, so since we got time, she wanted to talk, I was over here. And my mom introduced me to Battlestar Galactica.
That's so great. You can push that microphone down a little bit more, I do believe, or maybe not. Can you stand on your tippy toes, honey? Maybe you can take it out. Maybe you can take it out. There you go.
My mama was, a little while ago, my mama was very, very sick because she has a very low immune system. And she's a lot better now. And I left my Mother's Day card at my daddy's house. And so I had to make her a flower out of tissue paper. And I'm very happy that my mommy's not sick anymore because I was very, very scared that something bad would happen, but nothing bad happened.
Thank y'all, and thank y'all for this, and Rosalind, just all of it, the strong women figures that stand up, give everybody the acknowledgement in ourselves, hey, yeah, maybe I can do that. It's a culture where it takes us a while to think, to even realize. As a young, she's 10. She's starting to go, wait, nobody has to tell me I'm good enough.
That's
nobody,
right.
And so this culture pulling out like that, she sees it and can see it in herself.
It's a very, very important time for young women right now. Yes.
Okay, so we have a man. I gotta hear from a man. I gotta hear.
I wanted to end this in a lighter note. In the original Battlestar Galactica, you had an ensemble of different actors. You had Jonathan Harris from Lost in Space did the voiceover as one of the characters, Lauren Green. You had cameos by different people, Rick Springfield, Dirk Benedict was a mainstay, Richard Hatch was a mainstay, and Lloyd Bridges was on a few of the episodes. So the point I'm trying to get to, if they would have had a mother aboard the ship, they would have found Earth a lot sooner.
Oh my God, you are so right. Thank you. Rock I love you. You know what? That's the point. That's part of what we have to. A couple more minutes, okay. You just brought something to mind, as did the woman and her lovely daughter right before you, which is that part of why this is really cool to sit around and talk about mothers, whether we're men, women, children, whatever, is that as we can see right now in our culture, the feminine as a principle is at risk. And it's a difficult time. And for some reason, the feminine, the maternal, whether it's Mother Earth, or it's, girls in Africa being raped as weapons of war, or it's women in the United States right now worried about their rights. When the planet gets scared, it goes after women. It tries to bring the mother down. And anything that any single person in this room and on this planet can do right now in their lives to strengthen their perception of mother and strengthen their support of anything that has to do with the feminine, whether it's the feminine inside every man, or the woman who wants the freedom to develop her leaning into her masculine. All of this is a feminine impulse. It is to grow the truth of who we are. And those things right now are really fragile given a reactionary element that's all over the planet. So my hope for all of us on this Mother's Day, for every single one of us all over the world, is that we take a deep breath and find a way to go back and honor the feminine every single day in whatever way we can, because we've got to get stronger, because as this adorable man just said, if there had been women, a mother figure, we would have found Earth a lot sooner. That is not to denigrate men. I adore men. We can't do it without each other.
Yeah.
But we've been at a loss. We've been at a loss, whether it was Tudor queens who had their heads cut off, or women today in the United States, or little girls who are in danger of being separated from their mothers because of immigration situations, and little boys who are losing their parents. We have to stop it. We have to find a way inside of our soul to strengthen the mothers. So thank you for letting us talk and being a part of this and sharing everything you did so beautifully. Olivia, do you want to say anything?
Thank you for sharing your Mother's Day with us. Thank you.
Have a great day.